Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from December 3rd. Birthdays from November 29th, Dana Brooke. She was born 1988. November 30th, Christian. He was born 1973. Also November 30th, Naomi. She was born 1987. She's the same age as I am. No, I graduated 87. December 3rd, birthday, Wolfgang, 1986, he was born. Charlotte Caruso took a look at Charlotte Flair starring in Psych, the movie. Flair will appear as Heather Rockrear, one of the villains in the movie, which will air on USA Network on December the 7th at 8 p.m. According to F4W Online's daily update, longtime WWE musical composer Jim Johnson has been released from the company after his contract expired. The news first was reported earlier this week by @ThemeTitan_ on Twitter. Jim Johnson has been released by WWE. Starting with WWE in 1985, Johnson created some of the WWE's most memorable themes for The Undertaker, Mr. McMahon, The Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and hundreds of other superstars. WWE has yet to officially announce his release. Longtime WWE composer Jim Johnson quietly released from the company this past week after his contract expired. Also noted that the news was first reported by @ThemeTitan on Twitter. Johnson has worked for the company for over 32 years and has composed legendary themes for Undertaker, DX, Rock, and many others. Two different reports. While the release is yet to be officially announced, Dave Meltzer reported on his latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio that people in the company saw it coming and weren't surprised by it. Johnson apparently wanted to stay with the company, but had a very high contract, and WWE has been relying more on CFOs to produce their themes since 2012. Johnson's release was expected once his contract expired, which happened last week. Meltzer also noted that it's the end of an era, but the era kind of ended years ago. A video previewing the opening of Ronda Rousey's website, RondaRousey.com. Rousey spoke on what the site will be about, but there are also a number of quick clips showing her being interviewed by WWE. After all, she was at WrestleMania 31. Training in the ring and working out at the Performance Center during Mae Young Classic, WWE teased a competition between the two four horsewomen groups with talks of having a match possibly with Charlotte Flair at this 2018 WrestleMania. Also, others was mentioned Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley versus Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir at WrestleMania 34. Our launch date is getting closer every day. Here's the latest preview. Go to that, get that link for that. Hashtag Ronda Rousey DOT.com. Also another link from Twitter. R-Truth revealed on Twitter that he's been dealing with an undisclosed injury. The Raw superstar hasn't appeared on TV since late August. @Ron Killings. What's up, y'all? Hey, if anyone's wondering where I am, please read my earlier tweets. People asking me the same questions every day. Why I am not on WWE? I am injured. Goldberg filmed an episode of Amazon's Prime, The Grand Tour, with boxing champion Anthony Joshua. The second season of the series returns to Amazon Prime this Friday. Ric Flair tweeted out his appearance in the music video Shambia, can be found on this link, by Bad Bunny, after giving his usual woo Flair styles and profiles in the background for a portion of it. Also, another link for that at this here on YouTube. will be WWE will be presenting a doubleheader in Chicago this month with Live Raw on Christmas and SmackDown Live the following night, both taking place at the Allstate Arena. Advertised dark match main event for SmackDown Live is advertised as AJ Styles versus Jinder Spoiler, AJ retains as AJ Styles as champion versus Jinder Mahal with Daniel Bryan as special referee. Matt Hardy continued to tease his character being called Woken character this weekend. Below are some videos. Here's a video of it. At a live events from Salt Lake City, doing his new take on his broken character. Broken, well, since that's a TNA or whatever it's called now, GFW. They're going with Woken. According to PW Insider, at the WWE Live event in Mexico, Mojo Rawley ended up teaming with Eric Rowan because Luke Harper flew back to the United States, as Harper was at the Lima, Peru live event, but no word on yet why he had to leave the tour. Although he is slated to be at this week's TV tapings, so it's most likely not an injury, and later found out that he left his the past weekend SmackDown tour early. According to PW Insider, Harper left the tour because his wife went into early labor, and congratulations to Harper and his family for the birth of their son. As Mojo ended up teaming with Eric Rowan for the weekend live event from Mexico. Speaking of weekend live events from Mexico, Jey Uso paid tribute to Rey Mysterio at the show in Monterrey and hit Chad Gable with a 619, which you can catch at this link. For those that aren't keeping tracking, Kurt Hawkins let fans know after his loss at Salt Lake City WWE Live event, he's now 140 straight losses. In the past, WWE has also posted videos of where Hawkins' streak is at, as it's a continuation of his storyline. And his real name, Brian Myers, as he posted it going under Brian Myers, but his username is at The Kurt Hawkins 0-140 hashtag WWE Salt Lake City on Twitter. Well, Ford is reportedly suing John Cena for selling his 2017 Ford GT, which violated contract with the car company. Cena was picked from thousands of applicants to be able to purchase the vehicle, as they are only have a limited amount of the issue car, but also agreed to keep the car for at least 2 years before being allowed to sell it. Initially, only 500 of these cars were ever made by Ford. In a statement, Ford claimed Mr. Cena has unfairly made a large profit from the unauthorized resale flip of the vehicle, and Ford has suffered additional damages and losses, including but not limited to loss of brand value, ambassador activity, and customer goodwill due to the improper sale. According to the lawsuit, Cena did tell the company he sold the car, along with other assets, for cash to take care of expenses. Per the lawsuit, Ford is looking for Cena to return profits from the sale, along with other damages. WWE Superstar is currently promoting the animated movie Ferdinand. The Washington Post has since picked up the story and said that Cena paid $460,000 for the vehicle. Article continued that after Cena was confronted about selling the car, he told Ford he would make it right, but according to the lawsuit, he never did. And to this date, he still hasn't paid up on his deal. What's he trying to do? Be like TNA? Earlier, on Cena's Instagram, where he only posts photos without giving an explanation, the 1980s Ford Mustang GT was posted. To date, however, Mr. Cena has not made it right has not sought a return of the vehicle and, upon information and belief, has made a profit from the improper resale. Court documents read, in addition, Mr. Cena still has failed to provide any documentation concerning the improper resale and is now refusing to do so, despite his earlier indications otherwise. Ford also has lost almost 2 years of ambassadorship and brand value that Mr. Cena would have offered by owning the vehicle for the contractually required time. Moreover, the unlawful resale bypassed the line of people waiting to purchase the vehicle through the program, thus affecting Ford's goodwill and customer relationships. Ford says in the documents that it has suffered damages amounting to more than $75,000. Cena is being sued for breach of contract, fraud, silent fraud, innocent misrepresentation, and unjust enrichment. The Dearborn, Michigan-based automaker included in its very thorough agreements to the sale of the GT supercar, with Cena's signature in court documents. In addition, in his application, Mr. Cena portrayed himself as an enthusiast of high-end automobiles, as well as the Ford brand, by attaching to his application photographs, video clips, and web photos of himself in and promoting high-end cars, the document read. Moreover, Mr. Cena is a well-known car collector and referenced numbers, limited edition, and high-end vehicles that he owned and collected at the time of his application, including a model year 2006 Ford GT. Well, recently on Edge of Christian's podcast of awesomeness, WWE legends, Edge of Christians were joined by fellow former world champion Dolph Ziggler. Among other things, Ziggler talked about being passed over and how constantly losing has made his job more difficult. Additionally, Ziggler expressed his frustration over his current role with WWE and indicated that he will have to make a decision about returning to WWE shortly. Well, that looks like his contract is almost up. And you can find the article, the podcast, and that link. According to Ziggler, he understands why fans believe the show-off has been overlooked by WWE brass. However, he also recognizes how easily he could have been kicked to the curb at Titan Tower, along with his box of failed gimmicks. I see it both ways. Like, I don't know, I'm not a giant guy, so maybe in some other world, I would have worked here in WWE for a year and a half as a caddy and a cheerleader, then went away. But so, I see the positives, like, hey man, I've been here for 12 years and almost always regularly on TV. But I think at a point that becomes a burden of not going away, of always being passed over. You're passed over a handful of times over a couple of years, then you start to have more of a cult following, and it gets hot. But after a couple of years of not having the trigger pulled, and the 8-year-old kids know that you're in that role, I've noticed in the last couple of years, even in my live event matches, it's harder for me to do my job because when I come out, the 10-year-old goes, I know you're losing, and I go, oh crap, because it's one thing to have 40-year-old guys going. I know what's going to happen. That's fine. I'm here. They put on a show, and we still have fun. But when you get in that role and you miss like years of not going with it, it becomes a burden. In Ziggler's estimation, losing has made his job of building up NXT call-ups more difficult because he has lost credibility with the audience. Now my job of making somebody that should be ready for a world title picture becomes harder, and it's not as much of a shove. If you see in the last 6 months, a year of TV, basically, I'm a gatekeeper to the guys from NXT coming up that they have high expectations for. But if I lose for 8 consecutive months before they show up, they are no longer getting that pat on the back to go up a notch. So I almost feel like it's taking back from my role. So I don't know what the change would be, either to to switch things up, disappear here and there, or I said this to the boss on several occasions, I go. I made a career out of almost never winning, which is awesome, but I go. At some point, I have to be seen as someone who can win, not just by pulling a needle out of a haystack or a lottery ball saying tonight is finally going to be the night, because then it loses all the luster. Similarly, Ziggler says wins and losses are irrelevant unless you are the one losing every night. Wins and losses don't matter unless you're the guy who loses every single night. And if you're that guy, then maybe you should be in a dark match, not fighting to see who becomes world champion each night. And even if you do pull the rabbit out of the hat, people know it's not long term. And he went on to say that he wants to be a bigger part of the show, but everyone thinks that they should be. I hate it, but I'm also someone who hates that I'm not champion. I hate that the show's not about me, because that's the mentality you should have if you're in the business of pro wrestling. If you're there to be like, hey, I'm that opening guy that works for 10 years that can save a bunch of money. That's great. But there are 1,000 other guys that are sitting in the back that are saying, I want to be the best. I want to be the main event WrestleMania. I want the show to be about me. And so you have to have that mentality. But I've also been around long enough to know the score, to know what's going on. So I hate being in that position. I think I should be a better part of the show, but so does everybody else. But not everybody else has proven that. So I feel like after a while proving it so much, even that becomes things like, sorry, you have the curse of the worker, or hey, you're kind of like our Shawn Michaels, guy who could work with anybody, and it could seem like a main event somewhere. And I go, well, that shouldn't be a bad thing, but sometimes it is. Also, during the podcast, Ziggler claimed that he has to make a decision on his future with WWE very soon. And we'll go straight to Raw. Raw opened up with a look back at Intercontinental Champion Roman Reigns retaining over Elias last week. And the post-match attack from Samoa Joe. Live from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, as Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the show. Also joined in by Corey Grace and Hall of Famer Booker T. We go right to the ring. Out comes Raw General Manager Kurt Angle as the "You Suck" chants start up from the crowd. Angle welcomes us and plugs tonight's Raw Tag Team title match. Angle says that's not the only title match for tonight, as Roman Reigns will defend due to what happened last week. The music interrupts. Out comes Jason Jordan. Jordan says he wants Reigns tonight. Angle isn't interested, bringing up how Jordan's knee is still bandaged up. Jordan says he can handle it. He mentions guys like John Cena, Kane, Braun Strowman, and The Miz, saying he held his own with every single one of them. Fans give Jordan the what treatment. Next, Jordan says Reigns has issued open challenges to anyone who wants to step up and take the title. Jordan says he's ready to step up because he knows he can beat Reigns. He just needs a chance, Dad. The booze continue. The music hits, and out comes Intercontinental Champion to a mixed reaction. Reigns tells Angle he's a fighting champion, and he's going to tell Angle who he's fighting. But it won't be his son. Reigns wants Samoa Joe. Reigns tells Jordan if he wants an opportunity, don't go running to his daddy because he's just getting laughed at. Reigns tells Jordan to step up and take it. Jordan asks Reigns if he's seriously going to lecture him about earning opportunities. Jordan says Reigns is the poster boy for the WWE manager at once. They have some words and face off until the music hits, and out comes Samoa Joe. Joe says as much as he'd love to sit in the back and watch these two act tough, His patience has run thin. Joe says if Reigns is done patronizing the kid, he accepts the challenge. And because he's merciful at times, he will give Reigns 5 seconds to withdraw his challenge to avoid the embarrassment because they know Reigns can beat Joe. Jordan laughs and addresses Joe, saying he doesn't have to come out here to try to act tough because, unlike Joe, he is actually tough. Because he doesn't have to come out and attack from behind. He issues challenges in people's face. Just like he challenged Reigns, and just like he's about to challenge Joe. Reigns tells Jordan to stay in his lane. Reigns turns his back on Joe and says the 5 seconds are up. Jordan comes from behind and drops Reigns on his head. Angle backs Jordan out of the ring and yells at him as Reigns gets back to his feet. Reigns says it's not going down like this. Reigns says Joe can wait until later tonight, but Jordan can get it right now. Reigns tells Angle to make the match. Jordan returns to the ring and faces off with Reigns as Angle keeps them apart. There we go to commercial break. Match number 1, Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan. Back for the break, we get match underway. Reigns takes Jordan to the corner and unloads. We see Joe watching the match from the stage. Jordan tries to mount some offense, but Reigns shuts him down. Jordan goes to the floor, but Reigns follows. Reigns works Jordan around and tosses him to the barrier as the referee counts. Reigns continues to beat Jordan around on the outside until they come back in, including sending him into the steel ring steps. Jordan enters first and nails Reigns a few times as he comes back in. Reigns sends Jordan back out in the ring as the referee counts again. Reigns with a drive-by on the floor. Reigns brings him back in the ring for a 2 count. Reigns keeps Jordan down with a chin lock. Talking trash, Jordan gets up and looks to finally make a comeback, ramming Reigns from corner to corner. Jordan keeps control with more shots into the corner. Jordan then missed a running spear in the corner, but Jordan counters Reigns right after that and sends him out of the ring. We go back to commercial with Jordan standing tall. Back for the break, Jordan remains in control of Reigns, keeping him grounded with an armbar. Joe looks on from the stage still. Reigns fights out and delivers a headbutt. Reigns drops Jordan with one arm and looks to make a comeback. Jordan stumbles back in the ring and Reigns unloads as fans count along. Reigns drops Jordan with a big boot, but Jordan kicks out at 2. Then Reigns goes for the Superman punch, but Jordan jumps up and drop kicks him. Jordan gets a 2 count out for that. Jordan lifts Reigns up, but Reigns fights back. Then knocks Jordan back to the floor. Referee counts. Jordan gets to his feet, but Reigns runs around and leaps off the steel steps for a Superman punch attempt. Jordan catches Reigns in midair and drives him into the ring post. Jordan charges and drives Reigns back into the ring post again. Jordan brings him back in the ring and only gets a 2 count. Back and forth again, but Jordan keeps the momentum going. Jordan dumps Reigns back on, this time on his head and covers for another 2 count. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Reigns goes for the knee, dropping Jordan for a 2 count. Reigns continues focusing on the knee, applying a half crab in the middle of the ring, and then goes to the ropes, but Reigns readjusts. Jordan counters the hold and rolls Reigns up for another 2 count. Reigns with a Superman punch for a 2 count for himself. Then we see how Jordan hurt his knee again during the break as the 2 tumbles to the floor. Reigns and Jordan get up at the same time. Reigns goes for the spear, but Jordan hit him with a bad leg. Jordan with 2 Northern Light suplexes, but Reigns still kicks out. More quick back and forth until Reigns hits a Superman punch out of nowhere for the win. After the match, Reigns sets up and takes the title as we go to replays. Joe takes the mic from the stage, taunts Reigns for looking tired, saying maybe Jordan wore him out. Joe says he's coming into the ring to put Reigns to sleep. Joe runs and hits the ring, unloading on Reigns, who's still trying to recover from the match. Joe applies a concrete punch, but Jordan comes from behind and delivers a suplex. Jordan talks trash and tells Joe to bring it. As Joe goes to the floor, Joe talks trash back at Jordan, and he's fired up as the referee stands in his way. Reigns comes from behind and delivers a Superman punch to Jordan, knocking him out of the ring. Reigns' music hits and Joe taunts him from the stage about putting him to sleep later on. We go to the replays again. Still to come segment. The Bar defends against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We go to commercial. Back from the break, we got Kurt Angle on the phone with Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon, saying he will fix everything and get it under control. Jordan is in the room. He demands another shot from Reigns next week. Angle isn't happy with him, saying he has no right to demand anything. Angle will consider giving Jordan a match with Samoa Joe. Jordan goes to leave, but Joe runs in and lays him out. Joe's fired up. He taunts Angle, saying like father, like son. Joe leaves as Angle helps Jordan up. And that's just lead us to a video package on Absolution's page. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Paige versus Sasha Banks was up next. We go to Ring Outcomes Paige for her return with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Commercial break. Back from the break, we see Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss on commentary. Sasha was out with Bayley and Mickie James at her side. We see recent Twitter drama between the two teams. The bell rings and Paige stares at Sasha. Smirking at her, Paige takes her time, but they lock up and go to the ropes before breaking. Paige slaps Sasha. Sasha nails her back. Paige takes control, delivers the headbutt. Sasha ends up tackling Paige off the ropes and taking control while mocking Paige. Sasha tosses Paige across the ring a few times. Sasha with some psalms in the corner now, then strikes as the referee warns her. Paige takes advantage and kicks Sasha in the gut, then slams her to the mat. Paige with a knee to the face for a 2 count. Paige keeping Sasha grounded. They get up. Paige launches Sasha across the ring into the corner this time. Paige puts the boots to Sasha as the referee warns her. Paige keeps control and slams Sasha on her face before applying the submission out of the corner. Paige breaks a hold and nails Sasha for a 2 count. Sasha tries to fight back, but Paige takes her back to the mat. Sasha ends up rolling Paige up for a 2 count, but Paige comes right back and floors her with a clothesline. Paige unloads in the corner as the referee warns her. Paige yells back at him. Paige stomps away in the corner again. Sasha catches a kick and kicks Paige in the face. Sasha sends Paige flying with a scissor hold. Paige dumps Sasha to the apron, but Sasha decks her and goes up top for a crossbody, which Paige kicks out at 2 count off the pinfall attempt. Sasha with knees to the back, and then Sasha tries to get a submission to keep Paige down. The hold is broken as Deville and Rose taunt Sasha from the outside. Paige ends up hitting Sasha with a double leg takedown. Paige unloads on the mat, but Sasha comes right back. Sasha drops Paige face first. Paige and Sasha both end up going out to the floor as their partners look on. We go to commercial break. Back from the break, Paige is in control. Sasha tries to fight back, but Paige is still in control. Paige then taunted Sasha. Sasha finally builds momentum after making another comeback. Paige ends up going to the top, but wastes time. Sasha climbs up and trades shots. Sasha lands bad on her neck after a sunset flip powerbomb. Paige gets a 2 count. Paige gets up first, and they trade shots in the middle of the ring. Paige blocks the bank statement. Goes for the rampage, but it's blocked. Sasha with a bank statement in the middle of the ring as the fans pop. Paige finally gets to the bottom rope, and the hold's broken. Paige rolls to the floor. The two sides face off. Sasha and Paige return to the ring, but Rose and Deville beat Bayley and Mickie down on the floor as they went for Sasha's leg. This leads to Sasha being distracted by Rose and Deville. Paige dropped her with a kick and nails the rampage for the win. After the back to Deville and Rose join Paige in the ring, they take out Sasha again as Bliss makes her exit to the back without getting involved. Absolution stands tall over Sasha as we go to replays. Kurt Angle again backstage when Elias walks in with his guitar. Elias wanted another shot at Roman Reigns tonight, but Angle gave the title shot to his son. Elias says that the people of L.A., Los Angeles, want to walk with Elias, but since he has no worthy opponent, all they will get is a concert. Elias goes on and warns Angle about his bias towards his bastard son. Angle tells Elias to go have his concert while Angle tries to find him a worthy opponent. Still to come, the Bar defends also A look at fallout from Braun Strowman's attack on Kane from last week. We go to commercial. Back from the break, we get Coleslaw leading us to a video package on Kane versus Braun Strowman feud. Cruiserweight champion Enzo Amore with the Zoe train. Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, Ari Daivari, and Noam Dar. Enzo says Gulak and Nese, better size, seize their opportunity tonight. He knocks Dar and Daivari, losing last week. He says they have to do better because they represent him. He goes on and says what they do not do is lose twice. He orders them out to get the job done. Enzo turns around and Nia Jax is standing there, smiling at him. Nia asks Enzo how he's doing and walks off after flirting a bit with him. Then we go to commercial. Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak versus Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. Looks like we got a fatal four-way or just four-quarter match. I don't know. Didn't see the show. It's all dirt sheet. Back in the ring, out comes Cedric Alexander with a wild Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, and Tony Nese wait in the ring. Winner of this match will face Rich Swann next week to become new number one contender to Enzo. Bell rings and Nese attacks Ali while Gulak attacks Cedric. Cedric and Ali end up going at it after sending the members of the Zoe train to the floor. Ali and Cedric trade moves and keep up at the same time. Cedric eventually takes out Gulak and Nese with a big dive to the floor. Cedric returns to the ring and takes control of Gulak. Nese comes back in the ring and helps Gulak beat Cedric down in the corner. Gulak and Nese keep control of Cedric as Gulak yells at this being a no-fly zone. Gulak and Nese argue. Ali comes from the top rope and takes them down. Ali goes for a few pin attempts, but can't get the win. Gulak and Nese double team Ali in the corner. Ali comes back against both of them, but they double team him. They keep double teaming him. Cedric comes back in and unloads on Gulak. Alexander drops Gulak for a close 2 count as Nese broke up the pinfall. Nese drops Cedric and sends him to the apron. Ali takes out Nese. Gulak takes out Ali. Cedric springboards in and takes Gulak down. Fans pop as we go to commercial with all 4 cruiserweights down. More back and forth after the break. Cedric and Gulak go at it. Cedric drops Gulak with a big move off the rope. But Ali broke up the pinfall again. Ali and Cedric argue before going at it. Rich Swann was shown watching in the back. Nese goes at it with Cedric now. Ali and Cedric team up to take out Nese with a double super kick. Ali and Cedric go at it in the middle of the ring. Cedric gets the upper hand, but Ali stuns him with a shot to the face. Cedric catches Ali out of nowhere and drops him for a close 2 count. As Nese breaks up the pin attempt just in time, Ali decks Nese and goes up top, but gets crushed over the top rope. Alexander gets sent to the apron, but but he rocks Nese with a right hand. Nese with a rolling palm strike while Cedric is up top and Ali still crushed on the top. Nese climbs up, but Cedric fights him off. Nese gets knocked to the mat by Cedric. Ali moves over to the top and nails a huge springboard Spanish fly to Cedric. The crowd pops up big time, and Ali covers for a 2 count as Gulak breaks the pin. Fan chant, this is awesome. Ali and Gulak slowly get up. Gulak with a jawbreaker. Gulak goes for a suplex, but it's blocked. Twice. Gulak unloads, but Ali stands on his feet, more back and forth between the two. Ali drops Gulak in the corner and climbs up top. Nese pulls Gulak to the floor to safety. Nese knees Ali in the head while he's up top. Cedric ends up hitting a lumbar check on Nese, sending him to the floor. Cedric also drops Ali in the middle of the ring. Gulak runs in and takes out Cedric with a knee. Gulak covers Ali and steals the win to advance to the next week's Raw. As Gulak won and advances. After the match, Gulak celebrated as we go to replays. Gulak versus Swann is now set for next week's Raw with the winner facing Enzo the following week. Charlie Caruso is the ring and interviews Gulak, asking if he's conflicted about possibly facing the leader of the Zoe train. Gulak calls it a hard-hitting question that can only be answered in a hard-hitting way like his PowerPoint presentation. Gray says we're out of time and won't get to see the presentation. It looks like this may air during a commercial. We see Elias backstage walking. Kozal leads us into a preview for Wednesday's Total Divas episode with Lana and Rusev. Back to commercial. Back from break, and we get Elias in the ring with his guitar. He starts his latest song and takes shots at Los Angeles. Elias goes on, and the music interrupts as Braun Strowman comes out to a pop. Braun attacks Elias and gets the best of him, unloading in the ring. Elias ends up on the floor, and Braun follows. There's a counter as he runs Braun into the ring post. Elias comes from behind and smashes his guitar over Braun's back, but it does nothing. Braun drops Elias on the outside, comes back in. Braun scoops Elias for a big running power slam. Fans pop as Braun goes to the floor and takes apart steel ring steps. Braun comes back in the ring, continue the assault on Elias, but Kane's music hits, and as the lights go down, Kane appears on the big screen, taunts Braun, accusing him of forgetting what it's like to be a monster among men. Kane goes on and says maybe Braun will remember next week as they face off in the ring. Kane says they will ascend into the abyss next week, but only one monster will emerge. Kane laughs as Braun looks on from the ring fuming. We see what happened earlier tonight with Samoa Joe, Jordan, and Reigns. The Shield is backstage. Reigns says he did his part tonight, and it's now time for Rollins and Ambrose to do theirs. Rollins says it's just them and the bar, and they always get the job done when it's them and the bar. Ambrose is surprised at the rematches tonight after being away for a week on his honeymoon in Hawaii. Rollins asks Ambrose if he's been using his cell phone, and Reigns comments on Ambrose not using the internet. Rollins and Ambrose are confident going into the match. Still to come segment. Asuka will be in action. Back to commercial. Back to Ray Cole's plugging John Cena's Jimmy Fallon appearance on Wednesday night, and the Today Show appearance on Thursday to promote the new animated film, Ferdinand. Next match, we got Asuka versus Alicia Fox. Back from the Ray, out comes Asuka. Alicia was next. We got a sidebar video of Fox talking about how she's not Dana Brooke and she's about to break Asuka's undefeated streak. The bell rings and Fox strikes first and takes control. Asuka makes a comeback early on and hits the hip attack. Asuka with more offense until Fox hits her with more kicks. Fox is upset. Asuka with a few disrespected shots. Asuka comes back and nails a couple kicks off the ropes. Asuka ends up kicking Fox after blocking scissor kick, and then goes on and takes Fox down into the armbar for the win. After the match, Asuka stand tall as the music plays. Paige's music hits. Out she comes with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Absolution once again surrounds Asuka while she's in the ring, staring her down. Asuka backs out of the ring without fighting. Just like last week, Asuka is all smiles as she backs up the ramp. Paige takes the mic and addresses Fox, telling her to relax. Paige enters the ring and says, from the bottom of her heart, she's not here to hurt Foxy. Paige says Fox is actually her friend, and the only one to like her a year ago. Paige says Fox is her best friend, and she loves Fox. Paige loves Fox, she just doesn't think Sonya and Mandy feel the same way. Paige looks at both of them, and they enter the ring with Paige and Fox. Now, Fox starts fighting as Mandy and Sonya attack her. Paige watches. Sonya whips Fox into a kick from Mandy. Deville floors her with a big knee next. Absolution stands tall as Paige steps over Fox. Paige yells that they are Absolution as the music hits whilst they stand tall and with their arms in the air. Finn Balor's backstage walking. Go to commercial. Back from the break. Cole shows us preview behind the scenes look at the USA Network Psych movie, which stars supposedly John Cena's in it, and also SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Well, I already told you about Flair earlier. And next match, we get Finn Balor versus Bo Dallas. We got a ring. Out comes Finn Balor. Bo Dallas with his Curtis Axel in his neck brace. Bo ends up turning it around and taking control after interference from outside. Bo worked Balor around and talked some trash as Axel looked on with his next brace. Bo with a kick to the gut and a big shot into his knee for a 2 count. Bo kept Balor grounded with a hold as fans tried to rally for Balor. Balor fights up as Dallas slams him back to the mat. Bo stomps on Balor and drops a knee for another pin attempt. Bo keeps Balor grounded with another submission on the arm. Dallas sends Balor to the corner but runs into a boot. Balor starts building momentum and nails the double stomp while Bo is on the mat. More back and forth as Balor with more offense and a sling blade as the comeback continues. Balor with a big drop kick into the corner. Balor goes up top while Dallas is down in the middle of the ring. Balor nails the coup de grace for the win. After the match, Balor stood tall as JoJo makes the announcement. We go to replays. We see how New Day helped Bar win Raw Tag Team Champions Tag Team titles from Ambrose and Rollins last month. Still to come segment, Rollins and Ambrose get their rematch. Also, get a look at Matt Hardy's Awakening. We got a commercial. Back from the break, we get the announcers. Show us Matt Hardy's post-match breakdown after last week's loss to Bray Wyatt. We also see some of Hardy's bizarre woken tweets. The graphics flash as we cut to Bray Wyatt backstage. Wyatt asks, "Who is Matt Hardy?" and says he knows. The fans know, but Matt himself does not know. The video is interrupted by Matt, who has a few broken style words. To the consumer of terrestrial entities, he has been awoken. Wyatt says last week was not Matt's breaking point, it was his. Wyatt actually feels alive again. His heart is pumping and there's a fire inside of him that will only grow stronger. The fire will not cleanse you or save you. It will make sure all of you burn. Matt says Wyatt left him no choice. Matt sentences Wyatt to deletion. The video cuts once again and Wyatt laughs. Matt laughs. Wyatt laughs. This happens a few more times and ends with a bizarre Hardy. Fans are chanting, "Delete! Delete! Delete!" in the arena. That's what the TNA character did. As the announcers try to make sense of what just happened. Or what they just saw. Raw Tag Team title match. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro and Sheamus. We go to the ring. Out first comes Seth Rollins for tonight's main event. Ambrose joins him. 2/3 of the Shield hits the ring. Back commercial. Back from the break is Kane and Strowman. Plus Gulak versus Swan is confirmed for next week's Raw in Cleveland. And by the way, that's Miz's hometown. Back to the ring action as out comes Raw Tag Team Champions, the Bar. We get formal ring introductions from JoJo. And we see Roman Reigns backstage watching the match. Cesaro starts off with Ambrose as they trade holds. Sheamus with an early tag, but Ambrose unloads on him. Ambrose goes for the tag, but Cesaro pulls Rollins off the apron. Sheamus drops Ambrose with a clothesline and works him over. Sheamus takes Ambrose to the floor, to the corner, and in comes Rollins for the double teaming. Fan chant, "You look stupid" at Sheamus. The Bar keeps Ambrose in the corner and double team him again. Sheamus runs over Ambrose with a running boot and keeps the boot to him as the referees warn him. Sheamus takes Ambrose to the ropes as the referee warns him again. Cesaro gets a cheap shot in. Sheamus takes Ambrose down, keeps him grounded while talking some trash. Sheamus takes Ambrose back to the corner and puts him up top. Ambrose comes off, rolls through, tagging in Rollins. Rollins goes at it with Sheamus and unloads, hitting the blockbuster from the corner. Rollins with a sling blade for a 2 count. Sheamus dumps Rollins to the apron, but Rollins ends up knocking Sheamus hard to the floor. Rollins goes out, has to fight off Cesaro, allowing Sheamus to come from behind and Rollins to send Rollins face first into the ring post. We go to commercial. Back from the ring, Bar is in control. Sheamus works over Rollins. Cesaro tags in, back drops Rollins, stopping the tag to Ambrose. Cesaro with a close 2 count. Sheamus tags back in and comes off the second rope with a clothesline for a 2 count. Sheamus keeps Rollins grounded with an arm submission. Rollins fights up and out, but Sheamus catches him with a backbreaker. Rollins counters and drops Sheamus. Both men are down. More back and forth between the two. Cesaro takes Ambrose off the apron with a cheap shot. Rollins tries to fight both guys off, but gets dropped into a big uppercut. Sheamus covers for a 2 count. Sheamus keeps Rollins grounded as Rollins fights up looking for a tag, but Ambrose is still down on the floor. Rollins finally nails a super kick that knocks Sheamus out of the ring. Rollins is down, and Cesaro checks on Sheamus on the floor. Ambrose makes his way back up. Ambrose tags in, as does Cesaro, and they go at it. Ambrose gets the upper hand and dumps Cesaro over the top rope, out to the floor. Ambrose runs the ropes and has to stop and knock Sheamus off the apron. Ambrose runs into the uppercut from Cesaro. Cesaro goes to the top for a cross body, but Ambrose runs through for a 2 count. Cesaro with a Cesaro swing, but Ambrose counters it and pins Cesaro only gets a 2 count. Ambrose misses dirty deeds and avoids Brogue Kick. Then sends Sheamus to the floor. Ambrose with another 2 count. Sheamus with a big knee to Ambrose's face while Cesaro has the referee distracted. Ambrose still kicks out at 2. Some fans chant this is awesome. Bar tries to double team Ambrose with a super power bomb, but Ambrose fights him off and sends Cesaro into the turnbuckle. Rollins tags in and climbs up for a big superplex on Sheamus. Rollins rolls through and hits a Falcon Arrow for a close 2 count, and Cesaro broke up the pin. Cesaro and Rollins go at it, neutralize the block. Rollins with a big forearm. Cesaro counters and hits the big uppercut. Cesaro goes for the neutralizer, but it's blocked. Rollins drops Cesaro with a knee to the face. Rollins with a 2 count, and Sheamus breaks up the pin. Sheamus unloads on Rollins with stomps as the referee warns him. Ambrose tries to run into the ring, but Sheamus knees him in the face. Sheamus goes back, stomping away on Rollins. The referee tries to stop him, but he won't. The referee calls the match, so it ends up in a DQ. After the match, JoJo makes the announcement that the bar stands tall and retrieves their title. Sheamus is all smiles. Kurt Angle comes out and says they're not getting off that easy. He's going to give them a chance to prove that they are really the bar. The match is restarted with no disqualification. It's true. It's damn true. No disqualification match for the titles. Seth Rollins and Ambrose restarts. Rollins and Ambrose immediately go after the bar to take control. Cesaro uppercuts Ambrose as they come back in the ring. Ambrose hits big clothesline. Coming right back, Rollins and drops Cesaro and Ambrose, covers for a 2 count. Ambrose and Rollins can't believe it. Rollins and Ambrose wait for Cesaro to get up, but Samoa Joe hits the ring and takes Ambrose and Rollins out. Roman Reigns runs down and chases Joe from the ring. Joe runs through the crowd, but Reigns doesn't follow. Cesaro eats a Superman punch from Reigns. Sheamus runs in, hits a Brogue Kick on Ambrose. Sheamus assists Cesaro in covering Ambrose for the win to retain. After match, Bar takes the titles and leaves with Joe through the crowd as the music hits and Reigns looks on from the ring as Rollins and Ambrose recover as Raw goes off the air, and that will end my video for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you all on the beer. If you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.